Good evening, it's Jenny from Southern Savers. Glad to have you guys join me. It's our Monday night Q&A. This is your chance to ask any questions that you have, saving money, couponing, wherever you want to go. And I always come with a topic. So our topic tonight is meat and produce. It's kind of an old standby, but it's one that is good for a refresher for some folks and good for folks that are just joining in because we don't see a ton of coupons for meat or produce, but we need them. We need to eat them. So how do we save money on that without the coupons there to help us? There's definitely ways to save, and you may not like where I'm going to push you, but I want you to keep an open mind because what's going to save you the most money is something you're really not used to doing for your meat and produce, and that is really not using the grocery store for either of those items, but buying in bulk and buying local. So that's going to save us the most money, and I just want to talk about ways to do that and places to look to be able to get the best deals on those items. So that's where I thought we would go a lot. Tanette's already asking, what can I freeze for the winter? And that is right on track, Tanette. So I'm going to kind of lump your answer in with a much longer answer as we go through tonight. But that's the right mindset, is that I do want to be looking while things are in season to grab them so that I'm getting a great price on them and storing them. We're all going to become little chipmunks, but storing them for the winter when they're not on sale and they're not going to be in season at all, you're not going to find a deal on them. So planning to go into the grocery store and get corn on the cob in December is a really bad idea. But you could grab it now, get it at a great price, and stick it in the freezer. So let's go there first, and let's go to meat first. Because meat, in a sense, is a little less complicated, or what I'm going to ask you to do feels less complicated. How about that? So saving on meat, I want to encourage you to get out of the grocery store and into buying in bulk. There are a number of places to do that. We can do it straight from a farmer, by the way. You can know somebody who sells beef. You can Google somebody who sells beef in your area, and you can buy a quarter cow or a half a cow. I actually had someone email me last night that attended a workshop in the past. Is this a good price? And she had found grass-fed, grain-finished beef for $6 a pound, roughly, is what it came to. And it just depends on where you are. That price is going to differ. That is a little steep for grain finished, but you need to learn the terms. So before you go and you're looking at buying this side of beef, I need to know what I'm asking for. So if you want only grass-fed beef, you need to ask, the key term for you is, how is it finished? Because most beef is grass-fed, grain finished. That's just how it works. That's how we can get beef to the size that we need to get it to take it to market. And most farmers don't want to take a cow to market if it's not a decent size, because they're being paid per pound. Also, to give you an insight on some of how the beef market works, and I'm not a complete expert, but I know a tiny bit, a lot of times two farms are involved in beef. You have a farm that raised them from when they were born but sold them pre-market weight, and then they then go to a farm where they're finished. And so that's why I need to know too, if that grass-fed part is that important for you, then you need to make sure it was grass-fed all the way until the end. If you're in my boat, and you know what, I just want to give you some meat, and we will make it special swanky meat when the kids are all grown and out of the house, great. I'm not looking in the organic grass-fed world. Those terms don't necessarily matter to me. I just want a side of beef, and I want it at a decent price. Going rate for that per pound is really in the $3.50 range per pound. So it's a massive difference. And that was a grass-fed grain finished price at that $6 pound that someone emailed. So you're going to get different prices. You just need to kind of know the terms that you're looking for. So a few options on how we're going to do that. One, you can go straight to the farmer if you know somebody. If you have no clue where to start, go to a local butcher. They do still exist. Google them. Even in our town, we probably have 3 or more. Go to a local butcher and see if they have anyone that they've worked with in the past or anyone that they know They probably do. If that doesn't get you anywhere, there's a good website that you can use, and this one also works for produce. It's called localharvest.org. So localharvest.org, if you put in your zip code, it's going to show you every farm that you can direct purchase from. So Local Harvest, it's an older site that hasn't been updated, so it's not like the most beautiful in terms of design, but it works great. Localharvest.org, that's the website you're looking for. I'll try to stick it in the comments here so folks can see it. But if you head there and you put in your zip code, you will see everywhere that you can direct buy from produce and meat. So you want to kind of get a feel for what's near you. And Diana asks, do all farmers grain finish, or is there another option? No, not all farmers do, Diana. There are some farms that do grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It's just going to cost a lot more because they couldn't get the cow to the weight that most are going to get their cows to, but they're going to make you pay for that compensation on the difference. Grass-fed beef, they're not getting the protein. They're not getting all of the nutrients that they're getting in the grain. And it's not that the grain is bad for them, though some may tell you that. It's just that's how the cow is putting on weight to bulk up to get to market. Okay. Good, and Teresa says she's already been to Local Harvest and found some meat through that. So it is a good source for finding things local in your area, meat and produce. So that's the link that I just stuck in the comments if you kind of scroll back through. And as I scroll back through too, because I know I just started off with a little long-winded beginning there. So hello to everyone who's already said hello to me so far. And I like Chris, we're not going to head to Walmart at all for those items either. Definitely not. So as we dive back in, so to jump back into the meat side of things. Oh, and Dale got your shirt. I'm glad. So we're still sending them out. If you entered in the Southern Savers t-shirt, we are doing it by sizes to try to keep everything straight and not accidentally send the wrong size to folks. So I don't think we've gotten to some of the ones where we had a lot in those particular sizes. Okay, so back to meat. We can go direct to farmer, we can go to butcher and find a local farmer, we can go through Local Harvest, and then two more options. I'm not done yet, don't worry. If you don't want to do the work yourself on any of that, you have two options that's really kind of the easiest options for you. So one of those is Zaycon, and I will stick that link in the comments as well. So Zaycon is a option to be able to get bulk meat direct to your city. So Zaycon's meat comes fresh from the processor, never frozen, in a big, huge box. And you then take that box and vacuum seal it up into individual size packages for your family. Package size, to give you an idea, chicken comes in a 40-pound box. Which I hold up my hands like this, but that's really no indication for you. It is like if you were to buy printer paper, it's about half the size of a 10-ream case of printer paper, if you want to have that visual. So for me, when it comes, we vacuum seal it up. We actually keep it in the box that it was in because it's inside of a big, huge bag. The box isn't really dirty at all. We keep it in that, and we just slide it straight into our stand-up freezer outside. That 40-pound box will last us from Zaycon about 3 months. So just to give you that idea. Now, I feed a family of 7, but that's not really an accurate assessment either because it's really 5 girls, and 3 of them eat like little birds. So when we cook chicken, we may just cook 2 chicken breasts for 7 people, which seems kind of crazy. But Zaycon chicken breasts are large, so that is plenty for our family, just to give you that idea of how long that's going to last. So it's a 40-pound box, lasts us about 3 months. Their going price for chicken is about $1.69 a pound. That's a good price. It beats the grocery store, it beats Costco, it beats everybody's price, basically, on boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Now, the big question that I always get with Zaycon is it organic? Is it, all of the big questions on folks. Oh, and Ashley's saying Zaycon is running a 20% off coupon code that ends today. Yes, thank you, Ashley. CHOP625, helping everyone out there. And that coupon code, a lot of times they're not good for folks who've ordered before. So if you have ordered before, try it, but it may not work, just depending on how they're running the offer. Lisa, they're not frozen. So those chicken breasts are fresh. They're in huge bags from the processor, 4 huge bags inside this big box. They're basically 10-pound bags of chicken. And you're going to take them and vacuum seal them. You want to vacuum seal them because you want this to last 3 months, and put them up. Lauren says, do I pre-cook the chicken before I divide it up? I would love to say yes to that. I think that would be a great idea for some of it, to go ahead and pre-shred it or dice it up and pre-cook some. Usually for me, I am vacuum sealing up that box after the kids are in bed. It's 9:30 at night, and the idea of pre-cooking chicken is not on the top of my list. But it would be awesome if I was that on top of things to do that. I am not normally a meal planner, but I am definitely a meal prepper. So I'm all about having extra meat and extra ground beef already in the freezer. What we usually do, Lauren, because I'm not on top of things when I put it up, is usually if I know that I'm cooking ground beef or something, I'll pull out 2 packages of ground beef and I'll cook both of them at the same time and go ahead and freeze one and keep the other. Since I already got the pot dirty, I can brown them both at the same time. So I kind of make up for it in the end, but I don't do it right then when I'm putting them all up. So one thing that I've mentioned, just to emphasize too, why you want to vacuum seal, and I mentioned this months ago on a Q&A, but just in case folks didn't hear then, I know we always have new folks that join us. In general, in your brain, you should think of a Ziploc freezer bag is good for 6 weeks or less. And anything that I plan on keeping in the freezer longer than 6 weeks should not be in a Ziploc freezer bag. If I want it to taste the way that I want it to taste when it comes out, I want to put it in a vacuum sealer. So I know I'm encouraging you to get an appliance that you may not have had on your list. We can usually get some pretty good deals on them. They will put out coupons almost every other month. We'll also see, you can use that 20% off at Bed Bath & Beyond. You can use the Kohl's 20 or 30% off. They're not running one today, but they have a new one that starts tomorrow night, inside tip. They're going to run a flash sale tomorrow night that you may or may not have heard about from me. So flash sale is going to start tomorrow night at 3 p.m. And you can get 20% off your entire order with a coupon code. I won't go as far as to tell you that because I get into some trouble. But tomorrow at 3 p.m. it'll be up on the Kohl's site, and you can get 20% off. So if you really wanted to go right now and get one, at least wait till tomorrow. But we want to vacuum seal anytime we buy in bulk. Yeah, Heidi, I don't want to go to jail for my insider trading. I don't think Kohl's is gonna go that far, but let's not get in any trouble. We do want to plan on vacuum sealing anything that we're planning to grab now and store for a long period of time. Ziploc is not your friend for long-term bulk storage. Great company, not so great long-term. Sherry, what about the generic freezer rolls? Yes, that is what we grab from Amazon. Let me see if I can pull up ours. Sometimes when I try to pull up websites, it kills the internet for the folks on the YouTube side. But there is Amazon sells, it's a 2-pack 50-foot rolls. They're like $10, 10 to 15 bucks. The price changes on Amazon all the time. Let me see if I can, freezer storage. Let's see if I can find the exact ones that we grab, but we definitely grab, the off-brand. They're $17.65 right now, but they have a 5% off coupon, it looks like. So I'll stick this in the comments for you. These are just the ones we've grabbed. You can get any ones you want, but that way, if you're just curious which ones it is. They do work great. I haven't had any issues with them. That's pretty much everything that's in our freezer now. We haven't bought the name brand ones in quite a while because it's such a decent saving. So That's what I would encourage you to grab, at least to look at grabbing, to save a little bit on that. Let's see. Camerica says, how long can meat sit out? Always at work, and if I order it, is it safe for the driver to leave? Okay, so the way that Zaycon's going to work is they're not going to leave it. You actually have to go to the pickup site and pick it up. So just to kind of back up on that one, with Zaycon, you're going to place the order online through Zaycon's website. Use the coupon code CHOP625 that Ashley mentioned to us about earlier. Get 21% off through tonight. But you order your meat, and it may not be delivered for 2 months from now. It just depends on the meat. They're coming through usually once a month in your city with a different type of meat each time they come through. So it just depends on what the schedule looks like for them. But you have an assigned time and assigned place to pick up your meat. And guys, if you've never done that before, it's a little, so, you know, just to walk you through what that picks up, or what that pickup looks like. The very first time I did it, it was all the way on a church on the other side of town. I had never been on this side of town before. You drive up, it's a white refrigerated truck, no markings whatsoever. No one was in the parking lot when I drove up, but Zaycon has a lot more folks now, so you might have a line when you get there, which I'd probably comfort you a little bit more. For me, no one's in there. I drive up. I don't even get out of the car. You just roll down your window and you say, hey, I'm here to pick up my meat. You give them your name. They'll tell you to pop your trunk, and they'll put it in your trunk for you, and you drive away. And I was left with like, what did I just get off the back of this truck? So I went maybe 2 miles down the road to an area where I felt a little bit more comfortable, and pulled over, and I had to check. I'm like, what is in the back of the truck? It's fine. It's very decent meat. We've been ordering for them probably for 5 years now. But that was just our first moment, and it's definitely unique as you go and do it the very first time. But after you get used to it, the meat comes, it is direct from the processor. It has, you know, the processor, the box is printed with the processor's names. And guys, it's the same brand that Bilo and Winn-Dixie and Food Lion all sell. It's Sanderson Farms chicken. We got, Smithfield. We did their pork chops one time. It was Smithfield pork chops, Smithfield pork tenderloin. So this is the exact same thing. Ziploc sealed packaged tenderloins, just like the grocery store is putting it out. You're just getting it in a case from the processor. So don't be put off by the unique side of it, but you do have to kind of pick your date and time. And Kendra, yes, when you hop on their site and you put in your zip code, it's going to show you all the pickup locations near your zip code and the date and time that they'll be there. So before you even order, you'll know whether it works with your schedule or not. Though, you know, sometimes it doesn't, but you still want it. We've had trips where I was teaching a workshop and I was going to be out of town, so I just begged my mom, can you please pick up our chicken and put it in the fridge? And as long as it's in the fridge, we've waited a couple of days before we've put ours up sometimes. Maybe it comes in on a Friday and I don't get home till a Sunday. That's fine. Believe me, it was going to sit in a refrigerated package in Publix the same way. So it's not a huge difference here to give it a day or two, though I am not, you know, a food expert on that one, so don't take my word for it, but don't leave it on the counter either. So Dee, this meat that we're talking about is coming from Zaycon, and I put a link in the comments earlier if you want to scroll back through. Oh, and Kelly says her truck actually said Zaycon on the side. I guess on our side of the world, I don't know, Kelly, I'm curious where you live. I see the palm trees in your picture, so maybe you are in the south, but for us, it's usually just a white truck with no markings, so just for folks who are new. But we have, just like Debbie saying, I've been using them for years. I have no qualms with what we've gotten from them. Everything has been great. It's just kind of getting over the unique side of what you're doing to be able to get your meat on such a good price. So they sell everything that you can think of too, guys. It's not just chicken, ground beef, steaks, roasts, shrimp, salmon. We've gotten a number of different things from them. Salmon is usually $6.99 a pound, which is a lot cheaper than the grocery store. It is vacuum sealed already. So some of these are going to be vacuum sealed and ready for you. Their steaks are individually vacuum sealed up. It's just your hamburger and your chicken that you're going to have to put up. They're fresh. The hamburger's in a big, huge chub tube. that you're going to need to slice up and put in vacuum seal bags, but most of the other things are going to come great sealed and ready for you to just slide straight into the freezer. Okay, so that's Zaycon. One other thing I want to mention for anyone that is in or near, you're willing to make a road trip to Columbia, South Carolina, or Charlotte, North Carolina, or you happen to live near Oklahoma, there's one out there too, there's only 3 in the U.S., is the U.S. Foods Chef Store, and I've mentioned these guys before. They are like a warehouse club, but there's no membership fee, and they're really geared towards restaurants. So if you have a restaurant supply store in your area, that might work too. Gordon Food Service, a restaurant depot. But U.S. Foods Chef Store is open to the public. So I don't need to be a restaurant. I don't need to have a tax ID number. Anybody can shop there. You can even pay with a credit card. It's not anything funky. But they sell fresh meat in bulk also. And honestly, their prices cream the Zaycon price. So if you're in the Columbia area, the Charlotte area, or willing to head through there, you know, maybe you live an hour away and you head through one of those towns on a general every few month basis, it's worth stopping in. The meat from U.S. Foods Chef Store, a lot of it is fresh, not frozen, though they do have a frozen side too. So they do sell shrimp and seafood and they roasts and whatnot that are vacuum sealed and ready to go straight into the freezer. But they also sell fresh at really good prices. So to check out a restaurant supply store to see if you can buy from them as well. So even if you don't have U.S. Foods, Gordon Food Service is another one. Teresa, you know, Conway, that's up to you. If you are coming through this section, the U.S. Foods Chef Store is right off of the interstate in both Columbia and in Charlotte. So if you're ever headed into either one of those cities, they're not hard to get to. In Columbia, it's like 1 minute off the interstate, one light, and you're there, and you just walk right in and grab what you want. So it is a fun one to go into. They have big refrigerated rooms that you're going to walk into, and they have firefighter jackets that you can put on. My kids just complain about it, and we all just run in and freeze, but you can get all warm and cozy if you want to spend a while in those refrigerated rooms to check out all of their meat prices. But to give you an idea, I gave you their chicken price. It's $1.10 a pound, which is crazy cheap, guys. Grocery store on sale is $1.99 for boneless, skinless chicken breast. So U.S. Foods, $1.10. It's like, what grocery store? I have no plans on going back. Their ground beef is about $2.89 a pound. Lots of other, almost everything else they're going to beat the grocery store on, never a problem. But just that kind of gives you those 2 big ones. I'm trying to think of all the others, but the prices just kind of become jumbled in my brain by the end. While you're there, since I'm singing the praises of the U.S. Food Chef Store, other things that I would check on while you're in the store, they do sell bulk fresh dairy. So they have meat, they have butter, all sorts of things. Some of it's in big sizes. Katie, there is no limit to the pounds. You can walk in and pay $5 if all you wanted to grab was one little thing. It doesn't matter at all. You can kind of go crazy if you want to as well and buy a ton. If you are going to get a ton, they do put coupons in there. They have a 2-week-long flyer, and they put coupons on their Facebook page. So check those out if you're planning on going big. But usually those coupons are something for free when you buy like $150 worth of stuff, which I don't ever spend that much in there. 40 pounds of chicken comes out to a whopping $43, and I'm good if I'm heading in for the chicken. So yeah, so for all of you who've never thought to go there, you should go there. So meat, they have the bulk dairy. They also have bulk produce. So as we move into how to save on produce, we'll start with the U.S. Foods Chef Store since we're already kind of there. But they do sell the boxes of plums and boxes of anything else that you can think of. They've got it in those refrigerated rooms, so you can grab from them as well. It is not exactly as cheap as the farmer's market's going to get, guys, which is where we're headed, but it is still a super good deal. So for us, fresh produce-wise, we do a homeschool co-op, and once a year, each family is required to bring snack for the whole campus. And when we found this out, I kind of freaked because the snack has to be a fruit or a vegetable because of all of the allergies that are out there. So immediately I got in the car and drove to US Foods, and we grabbed a case of plums. It had, I think, probably 180 plums in this box for 19 bucks. We were done. Every kid had 2 or more plums. There were so many in that box. But for 19 bucks, we served snack for the entire campus, and we were done. We kind of met our requirement. And US Foods, I could have never gotten that many plums in the grocery store for 19 bucks. So well worth it if you're already heading in to check out their other deals while you're in the store. Kendra says, what were we talking about in terms of the vacuum seal deal? Kendra, if you really want one, there is not a manufacturer's coupon for it right now. We do see them almost every other month, but there isn't one right now. But tomorrow, starting at 3 p.m., Kohl's is going to run a flash sale with 20% off through midnight. I think it's midnight Pacific time. So it's like a 12-hour, 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. basically. If you go Pacific time, and now that's making me question the start time. But tomorrow afternoon, 20% off all of Kohls.com. I'm not going to give you the code, but it'll be on their site come tomorrow afternoon. So if you really wanted one right now, that's where I would head to. They are, I'm pretty sure they had one earlier, and I think the rebate actually runs through the end of the month. So they have a $30 mail-in rebate on Food Savers on Kohl's. I should have probably looked all this up before we got started. Well, I'll try to find it, and if anything, I'll post it tomorrow so that hopefully you can grab it. But that would be the deal if you really wanted one right now. So to switch out of meat, because I've given you a ton of ways to save there, and I can recap for folks that just joined us, but we want to buy in bulk. That's the big key part. So it's figuring out how to buy in bulk, direct from a farmer, go through a butcher to find a farmer, go through localharvest.org, and I stuck that link in the comments earlier. Go through Zaycon, who has drop sites in almost every city in the Southeast and really across the U.S., and then look for a restaurant supply store near you. So US Foods is in my city. US Foods is also on in Charlotte, but I know Gordon Food Service is all over Tennessee. We have Restaurant Depot. They're tricky. So if you have a Restaurant Depot in your town, you are able to shop from them, but they are going to require a tax ID number. So anyone that has a small business is good. It doesn't have to be a restaurant tax ID number, but you're going to have to prove that you're a business. That's just Restaurant Depot, though. A lot of the others, Gordon Food Service, US Foods does not require that. Okay, and some folks are saying to check Amazon for Food Savers, check prices today, and that they were the cheapest. So you can kind of hunt around and see what you're looking for. Helen, I don't know if US Foods is growing, but if they are, that's awesome. If you have another one in Fort Mill. I know the one in Charlotte is really on South Charlotte, so it's not too far from the Fort Mill area at all. So you really need a deep freezer or a second fridge freezer to keep all the bulk foods in order to save. So Jacob, in terms of getting the best price, having that extra freezer space is definitely going to help you. It is going to pay for the freezer without a doubt. I hate to tell somebody you need to get another appliance, but yes. Now, where I would start is a basic chest freezer, and they make a little 5 cubic one. They make a 3 cubic one, but don't go there. It's really too tiny to do anything. But the 5 cubic chest freezer on sale, we can usually get for about $150 to $160 from Home Depot or Best Buy. And wait for 3-day weekends. So we're here this coming weekend. They're going to consider a long 3-day weekend, even though the 4th doesn't fall on a Monday. So you should find some deals this weekend at those stores. Home Depot lately has always had the best price on that little 5 cubic chest freezer. That's the one where you can get lost in the bottom. I actually just posted a post today on how to organize a chest freezer. It was very timely, I guess. I didn't really think about it in the sense of what we were talking about tonight. But I would take some of those tips into heart, look through that post before you lose food down in the depths of the freezer. but it is going to save you money in the long run. I mean, just take chicken, for example. For me, getting chicken at $1.10 a pound versus, oh, thank you. My husband stuck the link in there for you. So versus getting $1.10 a pound on chicken versus $1.99 a pound on chicken. 40 pounds of chicken lasts us 3 months. So I'm going to do that 4 times a year, saving 89 cents a pound times 40. Even if we round up for easy math, and we just say we're saving $1 a pound every time, you're saving 40 bucks every time you buy chicken. Over the course of 1 year, you've saved 40 bucks times 4. You've saved the price of your freezer just with chicken at that $160 for a chest freezer, that 5 cubic size. So that's just chicken, but we still have ground beef and we still have all of our produce. So just so you kind of see where it could save you. That's just one example. When I try to convince folks to coupon years ago and be like, really, this is great, you should do this, all of my friends, I would always use cereal as examples because I could go into the store and on sale with a coupon, I can leave with 5 boxes of cereal to your 1 box of cereal. So that's kind of where we're going to use chicken as our example as to why a freezer is going to pay for itself. So that's just one meat, and you've got so many other things that you're going to put in there. It is going to save in the end. Now, to switch, we'll jump to Kathy's question first. So Kathy says, do any of these places carry meat that are antibiotic-free and or grass-fed? Kathy, if you're going with a local farmer or through local harvest or even through a butcher, you can definitely find exactly the type of meat that you're wanting. Zaycon lists out all of the features of their meat if you want to view them as features. But they do not get organic labeling for anything. They will tell you their chicken is all natural, it's hormone-free, it's no additives, on and on and on. But it's probably not going to be, if that's what you're looking for, it is not a chicken that was super happy and wrote letters home from the road. It was just a chicken. So it depends on what you're looking for, but you can find it going direct to the farm, going through a butcher, or going through local harvest. They do exist. They're just sometimes harder to find, and they're definitely going to cost a lot more money. Okay, Erin, let's go ahead and take your completely off-topic question. I promise we're switching to produce. Has CVS stopped giving out email coupons besides the % off your online order? I personally, Erin, have not gotten one in months. So you and I are at least in the same little boat. I know some other folks occasionally are, but I don't think most people are. So I would like to think that we're all together in no more CVS coupons. Do I have any experience with Peapod or other grocery delivery pickups? So Jenny, I don't personally, because I think if I tried, they would leave them a ways back. My driveway is a dirt road over half a mile long just to get to the house. So no delivery for me. But I know of a lot of folks that do use Shipt, which is SHIPT, and they deliver for Publix and for a few others. Or Instacart, which is where Publix is also using in some cities. So it can be a help. They're only in big cities and only inside the city limits for a lot of folks, but it is a decent way to get your groceries delivered. Keep in mind with those deliveries, and they all work a little bit differently, but you're usually not getting the sale on those items. You're usually getting whatever their price is in their system. So Shipt, for example, isn't going to have the BOGO on Publix pricing. They're going to have their pricing on that item, and occasionally they'll have a sale on that item, but it's not going to match up with the Publix sales, and usually you do end up paying more for that item than you would have if you went there in the first place. But you didn't have to go, you didn't have to do any of your own grocery shopping, so some folks love it. Some folks also love that they weren't in the store, so they didn't spend anything extra. They only got what they wanted on their order. They didn't have that, oh, my buggy just kept getting bigger and bigger. But that might be where you have to decide whether or not you want to go that route. So let's talk meat in the grocery store for a second. Jonathan says, you know, I do see chicken deals We do see them on sale, so we'll see boneless, skinless chicken breasts in the grocery store for about $1.99 a pound. We'll see ground beef in the grocery store for about $3.49 a pound. You'll see steaks for around $7. You'll see salmon for around $8 or $9. It's really just realizing that the Zaycons and the U.S. Foods chef stores and whatnot always beat those sale prices. And once you realize that, I mean, not even having to work hard at this, I'm beating that sale price, then you start to kind of give up on the grocery store price in general. Like, it's never on the list, not something I'm going to grab. But you will see sales. You just won't necessarily see really, really great one. Is there any meat that I suggest not freezing? That's a good question. I can't think of a single meat that we eat that we don't freeze. So no, I think that they would all be good. Now, if you are eating, I don't know, maybe some high-end meats, I personally would have never cooked quail or anything that is in that realm. So there could be some, but our basic roast steaks, ground beef, chicken, turkey, all of that can be frozen. Ham. I actually just organized our freezer outside this afternoon. We even will pre-cook barbecue and keep it wrapped up in tin foil and inside of a Ziploc bag, and an extra Boston buck goes in the freezer ready to go, really in the oven to be warmed up and done. So we'll even go ahead and freeze some cooked meat as well. Thank you, Gabby. Quail is frozen. That's just not something I cook, but I have a feeling somebody would know. So Yolanda, grocery stores for me, I typically shop Publix or Bilo. They're the two big stores in the area, and they take all the coupons that I want to hand to them. They have great buy one, get one sales. That's really what I'm looking for, is what are their promotions and what are their sales. Okay, let's jump out of meat and into produce really quick. And then I will try to catch back up with your questions. So ways to save on produce, a lot like meat. We don't have the Zaycons in the produce world, so we don't have it doesn't feel as easy, I guess, but the same exact concept. So I want you to buy in bulk, I want you to buy local, and I want you to buy in season. Meat doesn't really have a season, or we don't feel like it does. Produce definitely does. I am not going to get corn on the cob outside of the summer. That's a summer vegetable. Squash, zucchini, cucumbers, those are summer vegetables. Peas. If you're looking for those items outside of the summer, which of course most of us are, we need vegetables, they are not going to be as cheap as they are in the summer. So grabbing them in the summer, stocking up on them, planting them in your own yard, first off, let's just emphasize that one. That is definitely the way to save. My sweet husband knows that I love okra and planted at least 20 rows of okra. I will send everybody okra this year, it feels like. But it's great. We'll have a ton put up in our freezer. That should be a goal if you've got the space for it. Definitely growing your own. Besides that, though, since we can't grow everything in anybody's climate, we want to head to the farmer's market. And a really great resource for the farmer's market, I'm going to stick in a link in the comments here. And it is a report from the USDA that they put out every single day. The report changes. I've made a standing URL for it, so the URL does not change. But if you just head to so.savers.me/market, then you will see the report, and I'm going to get it in the comments in just a second. Sorry, have to keep pulling things up. You will see what is on sale today at the federal markets and how much it was going for. So with that report, so it's so.svrs.me/market, and it's in the comments right now. With that report, you can see everything that was on sale at the federal market, how much it was going for today, and it does change every single day. Now, this is the federal market that is tracked out of Columbia, South Carolina, which I know you're like, that's where you live. Before you get frustrated with me, there are only 19 federal markets in the country. So I can't give you one that is in your particular city, but that particular one is a good resource for the Southeast. In general, all the prices in the Southeast are about the same. Atlanta's report, I'm pretty sure, is done by someone who's like 102. It is really hard to read. It's not as simple as this one. So obviously the people who track them get to make up what they look like. Just use this one. The prices are exactly the same. Atlanta, South Carolina, and Miami are the only three federal markets in the Southeast. So beyond that, you're going really far to get to your next market. Why would you use this report? Well, if I'm headed to my local farmer's market in Raleigh or wherever else you live, Charleston, even Nevada for Anna, who joins us most Monday nights. So no matter where you are, you're headed to your farmer's market, pull up this report to see, first off, what's in season. What is at the farmer's market? Because if it isn't on the list, it isn't even growing right now. And then how much is it going for? It's going to help you with farmers markets to know what to ask. Farmers markets are haggling situations. We don't like to haggle. We like to just be told what the price is and pay it in the U.S., but you can talk them down. So it's good for you to know what I should talk them down. Now, I do want to step back for a minute. When I say farmer's market, I do not mean the man on the corner of the street that sells a little tiny basket of tomatoes. We want to buy in bulk from the farmer's market the same way we would buy our meat. So we're talking, when you look at this report and you see tomatoes, for example, if you scroll down, when you pull up this report that I stuck in the link, yeah, and Irene's kind of, anyone that's looking for a farmer's market, Googling farmer's market and that localharvest.org that I put in the comments a long time ago, localharvest.org will also show you every farmer's market that is nearby you, as well as farm. So it's a good resource too for produce and for meat. So I stuck it in during the meat section, but Local Harvest is still really good for produce. So to go back to the report for a second, it says tomatoes, it's a 25-pound carton. I don't need 25 pounds of tomatoes. I can put them up, I could can them, you know, whatever. Or the easier option here, guys, is just to go with friends. Grab 4 or 5 friends and say, hey, every first Saturday, we're heading to the farmer's market, and let's split this up. I'm with you, Teresa. Like, let's just find some friends and let's make this work. One other option for you that's even possibly less work is to join a co-op. And we are part of a co-op. This started from someone in our church that started it, and it's kind of grown into just something that the whole city can be a part of. So if you are really curious and you want to join a co-op in the Columbia area, I can stick that in the comments for you. But a produce co-op is really something anybody can create, and I have a link that I'm going to stick in the comments here in a second to show you how to create a co-op. And I'm looking hard to find the link. Facebook always moves things around. Let's see. The one in Columbia is a group. It's a Facebook group. There we go. So I'll stick this in the comments, but anybody can join in the Columbia area. It's very easy. It is not run by me. It's run by some other folks, but with a co-op, no matter where you go, whether you start your own through the link that we just stuck in the comments or you join this particular one, the way that it works basically is that it's just a group of people that are buying produce in bulk, and then you're splitting it up. So you get together with some friends, you each pay 20 bucks, ours is 22. You each pay 20 bucks or whatever you want, and then you pool all that money in and you go and you buy in bulk whatever you can buy from the farmer's market that day. So maybe you get tomatoes and you get some lettuce and you get some fruit and you come home. The more money, the more people you have, the more money you have, the more things you can buy, so keep that in mind. The one that I just stuck in the link, which is the Columbia Co-op, probably has 60 to 80 people on a normal week. So that's a chunk of money that's being pulled together to be able to get some really, really good deals on produce. Bring your laundry basket. That is what we do. Line them up and then divvy out that produce between you. It's that simple. Anybody can create a co-op. Now, that said, there are a lot of co-ops that already exist. So heading to Local Harvest, again, is going to help you find a co-op in your area. because no, I don't need 25 pounds of tomatoes, but I still want to be able to buy that price. To give you an example on that price, I kind of math-wise, to make it a little easier on myself, pulled some already. So the report just from today from the federal market, vine ripe tomatoes are 60 cents a pound. The new Publix ad that I just posted that starts on Wednesday, having typed all the deals, vine ripe tomatoes in Publix, $1.49 a pound starting on Wednesday. And that's a sale price. That's a good price for Publix. That is not a good price in reality. Now, I can't not list produce deals on the grocery list on Southern Savers. People would flip out if there was never produce on the grocery list. But honestly, for me, paying $1.49 a pound for tomatoes, that's really high, guys. 60 cents a pound at the farmer's market. So a couple of others, cherry tomatoes, the 1 pound containers of cherry tomatoes are $1.20. Vidalia onions come out to 40 cents a pound. They will be 99 cents a pound at Publix starting on Wednesday. Pineapples are $2 each at the farmer's market. Sweet potatoes are 40 to 50 cents a pound. You know, you're starting to see how huge those prices are compared to what we have in the grocery store. Sweet potatoes are over $1 a pound in the grocery store. It's off season really for them right now, but still 40 to 50 cents a pound in the farmer's market. So buying local farmer's market and in bulk is a really, really good way to save on that chunk produce-wise. Now, I want to not forget, and you may not even still be around, Tanette, but very first question in on the YouTube side was, what can I freeze produce-wise for the winter? Honestly, almost every produce item can be frozen and stored. And this is where Google is your best friend. So how to put up corn, how to freeze this. A lot of them do need to be blanched first. But honestly, every time we've done it, I feel like we've over blanched things. So if you don't think you're going to store it for a super long time, you're probably fine to maybe even just put it up raw straight from the garden, depending on what you're putting up. But Google whatever you have. Almost everything can be frozen for the winter. Vacuum seal even your produce. You're going to regret that Ziploc bag about 3 months in, I promise. So grabbing what you can and storing, and definitely Googling before you do that so that you know that you're blanching right. Yeah, it's not hard, and I say I do it wrong. It's really that I think we just do it too long. The only thing about blanching is that you put the produce straight into boiling water, usually for like 30 to 60 seconds, really, really short time. And the big key part is that you need to take it straight from that hot water into ice water because we don't want it to cook anymore. I don't want my produce to be mush in the freezer. I want it to really still be like fresh produce. All you're doing is trying to stop it from continuing to grow. That's what the blanching process is technically for. It also helps to get it clean a little bit further before you put it up too. It has kind of a bonus perk there, but it's not hard to do that at all. I just tend to, mine end up a little mushy. So I've debated not doing any blanching this year just to see how that works. And our big one is really squash and zucchini when we put it up. So no blanching for us on that one, but everything else we still put up. This past year we ventured out. I like to consider like adding these things to my wife resume, but we did canned tomatoes, we put up pickles, so lots of things from the garden that we had never really done before. They aren't hard to do either. You just kind of branch out and teach yourself something new, and Google can teach you anything in the world. But yes, so we want to do bulk, we want to do local. Co-op is a huge way to go. One other term I want you to know produce-wise, you'll find those on Local Harvest, is a CSA farm. So a CSA farm is a community-supported agriculture, and this one you pay a share, and every week or every other week, whatever the farm decides, you get a box of whatever is fresh on that farm. And that price per share is pretty low. So it's definitely a way to save. It's a little different from a co-op. A co-op, generally, you're going to have some say as to what ends up in your basket. And a CSA farm may have no say as to what ends up in my basket. It's whatever the farm grew, I'm getting a share from that farm. So before you buy a share of a CSA farm, I want to know what do you grow? because if you grow radishes and beets, I don't want in. We did this probably 4 or 5 years ago, and that ended up being primarily what was in our basket. And it's so hard to convince your children to eat things that you don't like. So we did that 1 year. We never did it again. There was a lot in the basket that we didn't end up eating. Honestly, if I'd kind of known, though, the first question I would have asked is, well, what are you growing? And then I would have not wasted that money, I guess, for us. So CSA farms are great, not really trying to talk down on them, sorry. Just want you to do your homework before you buy the share. Just find out what they're growing so that you're not disappointed when the box comes every other week. And there are a number of CSA farms out. Some are really little and some are big, but Local Harvest, again, has all of that there. Those farms really put their own details up on that site, so it's pretty easy to stick them in and to find things in your area. It's updated a fair amount. Kathleen on the YouTube side saying, for anyone that's out west, Washington State Rainier cherries are in and fresh, and so if you live there, you should buy them. I agree, and you should ship me some as well. I would love that. So I wanted to, before we run out of time, go through a few things that we found today, because I've been popping in with deals, and I thought, you know, we would just end meat and produce really quick with a few of them, and I thought this one was really funny. So tonight, it was like the last thing I did before I shut down my computer and started to cook dinner, was a $5 deal on Southern Living, and then my husband walks in the door with the mail. And it's like perfect timing. So there is, you can get Southern Living Magazine, a year of Southern Living Magazine for $5 right now. It is an Amazon deal, and Amazon deals, I'm going to stick the link in, but Amazon deals are auto renewals, and they're very easy to keep track of in your Amazon account. There is a renewals section of your Amazon account, so it's super easy to fix. And to turn off if you don't want it to auto-renew. You can also set up a Facebook calendar notice in Google to not let it auto-renew, but you get a year for $5, which is really, really good. So I just stuck that link in the comments for anyone that wanted it, and I just thought that was huge since it's expiring. But we're definitely jumping on that one. I don't know how long that deal lasts either. With Amazon, they do change their prices all the time. So 3 others that I wanted to mention, and these are all, I've shared them all on Facebook already, so if you're on the Facebook side, just heading to the Southern Savers Facebook page, you'll see all the links, or they're all up on Southern Savers. You can get 3 packs of Trident gum completely free at Target. Target's got a candy 25% off cartwheel coupon right now, and then we have a lot of candy coupons. So gum, lots of things pairing in with that, but 3 free packs of Trident. That's a pretty fun one if you're already headed to Target. I don't know that I'd get in the car just to go and get free gum, but if I was already in the neighborhood, I would definitely do it. Another one is 4 free packs of Venus razors at Walmart. And this is just a Walmart deal because it's just an Ibotta Walmart offer. But we have $3 off printables, and we have a $3 off Ibotta, and that Ibotta offer is a 4-time use. So you could buy 4 packs, you'll get $12 back from Ibotta, and you'll get you'll use the $12 in coupons. So it makes all of those free. One more that I had for you, and then I'll jump back to y'all's questions. This guy, if you haven't gotten it already, the mega event at Kroger will continue, so you have 1 more week to grab it. But Ronzoni Garden Delight is completely free at Kroger this week with a $1 off too. And yeah, oh, okay, Chris, yeah, we're not headed to Walmart for you. Chris is having issues with his store even taking coupons. But Ronzoni, I will stick that link in the comments. I already have that one ready and pulled. But the Ronzoni coupon is $1 off 2, so you can grab 2 boxes. They're 49 cents a piece, and you'll pay nothing for 2 boxes in Kroger. So everyone that has a Kroger nearby, completely free. Those are kind of the fun ones I didn't want you to miss in terms of coupon land. So to jump back, Maria, I don't want to miss your question, but it might be a ways back. So you might want to re-ask it if I didn't see it before. Sometimes, there we go. I have a question about grocery coupon buying 5 products and getting 5 free / $5 off. Okay. Not quite sure I understand the grocery coupon question, Maria. Buy 5 products and get 5 free / $5 off deal. What store? Are we talking like a Kroger Mega event? Or was this an actual coupon? I might need you to just specify a little bit more. And in terms of the Southern Savers t-shirts, we did a giveaway for them last week on the site. I've actually had some that were just sitting in the office and it was time to get out of the office. So we are giving them all away. I will have to make more if we want to do any more on that. So if you didn't enter, I'm sorry, but maybe we'll look into getting some more made in the future. Let's see. So if you'll stick your question or a little bit more about that, then I can try to answer it, Maria, a tiny bit more that I can understand that coupon question. Oh, and Heidi, yes, please submit the Catalina so that we can add it. What store were you at, Heidi, and on the General Mills? Oh, at Food Lion. Sorry, I should read the whole comment. We will add it and see what kind of deals it would throw in. Let's see. Are there any deals on printers? So Linda, right now we don't have any great prices, but guys, we're only like 1 week out on back to school items. Staples started back to school deals in their Staples weekly ad this week. We've got a lot of 50-cent items, but we'll see cheaper, so don't jump on 50-cent crayons. We want crayons that are 25 cents a piece. So don't go too early. They're just getting started. They definitely wanted to beat everyone out of the gate, and they did it. No one else has back to school on yet. But starting next week, back to school will be going big. And really the week after July 4th will be whole hog into back to school. And that's when printer deals come in. So 1 to 2 more weeks, and then we'll start to see some really great prices on those if you can just hold out a little bit more. Are the vacuum bags simple houseware? I don't remember. Let me go through and click on the link that I stuck in earlier. So it's just a general plain old vacuum bags on Amazon, Rick, but I don't, let's see, I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to search for it again. Food freezer bags on Amazon. Oh, and then whatever you put up, you always get something different. They have apples on them. How's that on the label? But if you scroll through the comments, I stuck the link in exactly of the vacuum bags that we use. So Karen's got a CVS question. What are the rules for % off coupons at CVS? So if you have a % off coupon, it is not good on anything that's already on sale, but it's great on things that are full price. So if you're looking at the list that's on Southern Savers, anything that has prices and items listed underneath it, that's me pulling prices from my local store to give you an idea of what is a good price on those items. So for example, $8 extra care bucks when you buy 2 Neutrogena foundations, foundation, blush, powder. That's not on sale this week. And I've listed Neutrogena items underneath it with some prices, but they aren't on sale. So that's what you want to use your % off CVS coupons on. If I've got a 20% off my entire purchase, grab extra care deals that aren't on sale. The same for my folks at Rite Aid. If you are a huge Rite Aid shopper and you've earned bronze status, silver, gold, and you're getting that 20% off everything that's not on sale, every time you shop at Rite Aid, which is pretty awesome, you can do the same thing. So we posted a deal on Cetaphil baby wash that comes out to be 65 cents a bottle. If you have gold status in Rite Aid, you're going to get 20% off of that. They're not on sale. It's just buy 3 and get 1,000 Plenty Points, not on sale. So always pair those 20% offs with still reward deals, but reward deals that are full price. Joyce says, I have a Glad food sealer. Can I use any brand? I don't know. I would assume so. I mean, it's the concept of just heating up plastic and melting plastic. They would love for you to probably use their bags all the time. but I don't assume that you have to use their bags. I do not have a Glad. I have a Food Saver. I have a name brand, if you want to look at it that way. But I would assume you're just fine to use whatever kind of sealing bags that you want to, and it's going to work just fine. So Katie, on the Rite Aid deal, a lot of folks did. When they bought 2, they only got a $1 Catalina on each one of them instead of a $2. It still came out to be free. I tried to update posts. It's just really hard to update a video. I'm not sure why mine printed a 2 and not 1s, but I only heard from a couple of people that actually got $2 and everybody else got $1. So it did still, hopefully still was free for you, depending on what you grabbed. But yeah, it wasn't exactly how you wanted, and it's tricky when I do it in a video to update it later. How much time do I suggest someone spend trying to pair circulars and coupon sites and apps? I get overwhelmed. So Jenny, I would tell you that you don't need to do that. I don't know where you live, but that's what my goal is with Southern Savers, is to give you what's on sale and all the coupons and all the apps that go with that sale in one place. I can imagine it's incredibly overwhelming. For me to make the Publix list that is up for this coming Wednesday was 4 hours worth of work, typing and couponing that list. So I can only imagine what that would take for someone that didn't do it all the time, or have a back end that your husband built for you to try to make it faster. I don't even want to think about how long that used to take me before he built that. So what I would recommend, to give you a more precise answer on that, for me, I sit down when I'm headed to the grocery store and I make my list from the list on Southern Savers of what I want to buy. And I start to gather the coupons that that list tells me to gather, and I usually set a timer of 45 minutes. When 45 minutes is done, I am done. I don't want to sit there any longer. If I don't have a coupon and I missed it, I missed it. The reason for that is that I found that at the 45-minute mark, I was really hitting like frustration level, and I was getting frustrated with my kids. And the whole point of me couponing was to spend more time with my kids. So we're kind of going down a rabbit hole that wasn't working. So 45 minutes is my max. We will get the list made, print the coupons that the list tells me to print, cut the coupons that it tells me to cut, and then we head to the store. But I am solely on that list. I'm not off other places trying to match in other things. There's just only so much deal hunting, in a sense, that you can do before you lose your mind. But it's also your time. Your time has a value. So the more time that you put into this, are you saving that on the end? So for me, that 45 minutes, I can go into the grocery store and usually save between 120 to 140 bucks. Well worth 45 minutes. But if I were to spend even more trying to get ready for that list, I don't know that we would be there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Michelle, I agree. That Target personal care deal last week, that was a huge week Target-wise. So I hope everybody was able to grab it. This week, it's not so much fun. There are a couple deals hit and miss, but nothing compared to that personal care deal that we saw last week in Target. And you know, Jonathan, maybe somebody else can chime in. I have not colored my hair in a very long time. I decided that was not money that I wanted to spend. Let's see. So Cindy says no printed coupons at all Kroger. Kroger does take printed coupons. I'm sorry if you overheard me wrong. I was referring to Chris, who is watching, and Chris has a Walmart that doesn't want to take any printed coupons, but Kroger Corporate does. They actually offer printed coupons on their website. So this one is a printable that makes spaghetti free, but it's a good sale to grab. Kroger is one of the grocery stores that limits you on printable coupons, though. They're going to take two identical printable coupons per transaction. So in other words, I can print 2 of this coupon legitimately. You're allowed 2 per computer. So I could get 4 boxes for free, but I would have to stop there because they're not going to take any more than those 2 in that same transaction. And that's just their corporate policy. So just kind of a tip on the Kroger one. And Heidi, I get little flash ups every time I got an email. I just saw it come through. So thanks for sending me that deal. on the Catalina. Anytime you guys see a deal, I would love for you to share it. I can't possibly be in every store all the time. So anytime that you're out and about, to share a deal, send me a picture, email me a picture, send me a Facebook message with a picture. I would love all of it. Just be okay that I might share your picture when I stick it into a post, because it makes it super easy for everyone to see what they're looking for and what they're supposed to be buying. Okay. We'll go ahead and hop off. We've hit our 9:30 mark. I don't necessarily know what we're talking about each week, so if you have a topic you want us to cover, I would love for you to send me that in an email too. My email, by the way, is Jenny with a Y, Jenny, @southernsavers.com, or send a Facebook message. I get them either way. But always glad to hear from you guys, always glad to get your deals and your tips too. So hoping that you guys can grab some of the deals that we shared earlier. I hope that Produce and Meat was helpful. Go back and listen if you joined us late. And plan on next Monday night, same time, 8:30. And if you've got any ideas on what we should talk about, send those over. So I hope you guys have a great week. And I will see you next Monday night.